Здоровеньке буле! Друзі, все ви знаєте, що таке сало і наскільки воно смачне. Тож сьогодні я хочу розповісти англомовному населенню, що таке сало, як його їсти та чому вона найбільше смукає за хреновухою або хорілкою. А ще, чому сало таке важливе для славян и особливо украинцев. Так, я думаю, что это все. Ой, ребята, подписывайтесь, ставьте лайк, и, делитесь каналом с друзьями, не забудьте, что у меня...
I don't know what the fuck you just said, little kid, but you special, man. You touch it by the heart.
And while the concept of Salo might seem a little bit alien to us, and is quite possibly the most unkosher food in the universe, it's adored here. It's basically just thick slices of raw fatback served on dark bread. It can be part of a larger meal, but is usually served as the perfect chaser to vodka. And before you guys start judging, you eat a lot of really gross shit too. I mean, the whole world does. The English, they have sausage rolls. The Spanish and Portuguese speaking world have chicharrones. And America has the hot dog.
Okay, to put in hot dogs, pig lips, and assholes. Have at it, bitches, because I love hot dogs.
So come with an open mind and a big-ass bottle of ice-cold vodka, because today I'm going to teach you guys how to eat salo. At its essence, salo is made from a singular base ingredient, raw fatback. However, there are many ways to prepare and season this Slavic oddity. Most traditional salo is sold skin on and consists almost entirely of fat. If purchased raw from a butcher, salo should be immediately salted and stored in a dried place with airflow that will allow for the fat to cure a bit. In this state, salo is basically pre-rendered lard that can be eaten on its own, used to flavor other dishes, or rendered into liquid and used to cook with. If properly salted, salo can keep from 6 months to a year, and even if the surface spoils, it can be used as a flavoring agent in other dishes. Salo's versatility, stable shelf life, and damn near divine harmony with vodka has made it a staple in Ukraine and beyond for centuries. While the traditional take on raw pork fat is a delight in its own right, there are several ways salo can be prepared to bam it up a notch. And here I've gathered the Salo Super Friends, with seasoned, pepper-cured, smoked, minced, and original recipe. Today, salo is mostly consumed as part of a revered and highly honored Slavonic tradition locals like to call getting ultra shit-faced. Salo's part in this culturally beloved pastime is as a chaser. Almost never eaten alone, salo is part of an open-faced sandwich that is accompanied by a wide variety of pickled stuff. The thick, creamy fat and the acidity of the pickles do an incredible job of cutting the burn of booze, and help to ensure that there's something substantial in your stomach during a night of hedonism, thus helping to prevent, or at the very least mitigate, the brutal hangovers that are typically associated with evenings that involve pounding shots of vodka. And for those of you worried about getting sick, the pigs are raised in a clean environment and tested for disease and parasites, so just try not to acknowledge the fact that you are eating raw pork.
Raw! 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 Boss is fucking raw!
Starting with the OG, salo in its natural state. A good indicator of desired freshness is that it will still have hair on it. The skin is basically inedible in raw form and should be removed before serving. Some people freeze their salo for a few minutes just to firm up the block, but if your knife is sharp enough, you don't need to worry about this. The skin is the only part that's actually tough, and should be, as mentioned, removed, but it can be fried or used in soups or for flavoring other dishes. In my opinion, mustard is also vital. Not that weak, bright yellow kid sandwich stuff, but like the Jewish deli stuff. You also want to get the darkest bread possible. like bread so dark that an American police officer would have the seemingly irresistible urge to murder it in broad daylight. Top your sandwich with your sliced Salo. Here we have the next evolution of Salo, one that has been packed with salt, pepper, and garlic. This, much like the last one, is just a raw block of Salo, but it has been penetrated a bit by some of the flavoring. One trade-off can be that while natural Salo is almost as soft as butter, this Salo is a bit firmer, making it easier to cut but less pleasant to chew. Now here is where the Salo game gets interesting. This is a Salo that has been packed with salt and paprika and hanged to age. This is almost exactly like Italian pancetta, except it's not quite as aggressively salt cured or for as long. Rolled and bound and then spiced, it is a bit firmer than the previous Salo, but a large improvement in terms of flavor and texture. And now we get to Salo royalty. This is typically made from Salo that has a bit too much meat to be consumed in the traditional way. This Salo is also rolled and bound, but instead of aged, it's smoked, creating a change in texture that transforms it from a buttery melt-in-your-mouth bite to one that's a little bit closer to a honey-baked ham. Last but not least, there is a spreadable ground paste made from Salo that is typically spiced with salt, pepper, and lots of garlic. Usually served with borscht to taste amazing spread on pampushki, or just added straight to the soup. And if any of this raw pork fat talk seems weird to you, just keep in mind, hot dogs.
Traditional hot dogs are made from a mix of pork, beef, and chicken.
Served with fresh veggies, I've opted for cucumbers and tomato, and having green onion on hand is traditional as well. In terms of serving your Salo, I top them with a dash of ground pepper, some raw white onion sliced super thin, and some cilantro. Dill and parsley would also be acceptable. The random assortment of pickled everything is also mandatory. So here we have a lovely arrangement of all 5 of our Salo superstars. Before we dive into our Slavic smørrebrød, we have to wet our whistle first with a splash of vodka. Budmo, hey! The creamy rich fat, the punch of the mustard, and the fresh, crisp tang of the onions, all on top of a dark, rich, hearty bread, immediately nullifies the vodka burn. And what's more, they taste pretty damn good. The veggies and pickle snacks also help really add some fresh levity to your fun time hors d'oeuvres. Just make sure that your vodka's ice cold and your company is warm. So there you have it, guys, a comprehensive guide on all things Salo. If you're anywhere close to a European deli, they will almost certainly have this or something similar. I know the name might be off-putting, but this Eastern Slavic tradition is really incredible. But I mean, and again, enough vodka makes anything taste pretty good. So what do you guys think? Would you try Salo? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, eat well, friends.
Happy end!